Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of CUNY Uncut, where we talk about anything and everything, uncensored, unedited, and uncut. And I'm sure you've heard of TED. And no, not the little stuffed animal named Ted. TED Talks. I'm sure that you've had a conversation with one of your friends and you end it with, "Thank you for listening to my TED Talk." Everybody's had a yap session like that. Well, did you know that TED, as in TED Talks, has a partnership with CUNY? Yes, TEDxCUNY. It's a wonderful organization and club that has been working to put on performances and events for years and years and years. And there are conferences, and the next one is coming up in May. May 2nd from 9 to 5 at the John Jay College Theater. It's going to be the Fast Track Conference. And here with us to talk about that conference specifically are the two co-organizers, Emily Madray and Saanavi Goyal. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time. And I really wanted to give you an opportunity to really talk about such an exciting conference in TEDxCUNY. Can you tell me a little bit about the conference?
Yeah, first, thank you so much for having us here. We're really excited to talk about the conference. So this is our Fast Track Conference. It is our 8th annual conference, and it's going to be a really exciting day full of workshops, performances, and of course, TED Talks. We have 9 incredible speakers, all of which are CUNY affiliated, whether CUNY staff, faculty, or have worked with CUNY students in the past, all centered around this theme of Fast Track. And to get into the theme a little bit, is in New York City, we're always on the go. I feel like that's just the culture of New York, the culture of CUNY students. And so we really wanted to just examine that theme of how speed can be a superpower in all different shapes in all different sectors of life. And so we're really excited to host this conference for CUNY students. Saanavi, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, just to add on, this is the conference where we are celebrating speed as the superpower it is. We use speed in every different field of life. And just this conference will focus a little bit more on that and see how speed is utilized in different fields in New York City and just in different fields in general.
Yeah, well, as two Queens natives, you're no stranger to the New York City hustle and bustle.
Right.
Emily is over at John Jay, both of you in the Macaulay Honors Program. Emily is over at John Jay, while Saanavi is over at City College. So I wanted to ask about how you originally got into TEDxCUNY, because it's not something that I feel like you stumbled upon.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, first, let me preface by saying when I joined college, it was still kind of the COVID era where the virtual club fairs were happening. So I saw that TEDxCUNY was having some virtual thing, and I was like, okay, sure, let me go and see what this is about. So I was listening to the people who were part of the team, and they were talking about how they put on different TEDx events, and I was like, whoa, wait, this is what they're doing? So I was like, okay, well, I have to join. This just feels so cool. I mean, I watched, obviously, TED Talks growing up. I'm such a nerd of watching them in my fun time, in my spare time, too. So I was like, this is my chance to really make my mark on, the TEDx space and see what it is to do that behind the scenes. So I was like, I had to join, and then applied as a freshman and never looked back.
Saanavi, I know your story was a little different, though.
Yeah, so I love TED Talks too. I love listening to them, and that's how I trembled upon TEDxCUNY in general. I think it was somewhere during high school, junior year, when I first heard of TEDxCUNY. And then Macaulay Honors happened, and I was at their club fair. This was the first time they happened it in person.
Yeah.
And I saw Emily and one more person there just at the table advertising TEDxCUNY, and just being the person who loved listening to TED Talks as much as it did, I knew I had to join it, and that's where it started. And yeah, as Emily said, I never looked back again.
What's so funny is that Saanavi told me this later on, is that I was apparently the one that gave you the pitch, and I don't remember that at all.
I remember I'm just a freshman walking by, and Emily's like, do you want to join TEDxCUNY? And I'm like, yes, I do, of course.
The club fairs are so fast to me that I'm just you just talk so much that I blank out afterwards.
Well, listen, recruiting on all fronts, you're able to get your co-organizer alongside with you. So, there's not much that can beat that.
Right.
But I did want to talk about the history. You said that you've been around for around 10 years,
Yes.
but you've only been doing conferences for around 8. Those 2 years in between were because of COVID. Can you guys talk about how COVID affected TEDxCUNY?
Yeah, for sure. So we've been around since 2013. We got our license from TED in 2014. And then from 2014, we've been hosting annual events. So technically, technically, if it wasn't for COVID, this would technically be our 10th annual conference. But of course, COVID, everything shut down. We couldn't really have in-person gatherings, especially large-scale gatherings like the TEDx conference is. And so we scaled it back completely. We did what we call TEDxCUNY salons. So it's a different license than our conference, but essentially it's a conference on a smaller scale. So we had, instead of 8 to 12 speakers, which was what we have for the conference, we had 2 to 4. And we didn't get to have that in-person gathering experience of people like coming live and watching these talks on stage. It was more like a smaller gathering with like the speakers, like some of their family members, and then like a camera where they're just talking to the camera for it to be uploaded online. So we tried to keep our presence active and alive in that way and shape and form. We also hosted a few workshops here and there, like partnering with other organizations in 2020, 2021, and 2022. And then we came back in 2023 to host our 6th annual conference, Who We Are. And it was back to the large-scale gatherings from there.
How important, Saanavi, was it for you guys to really come back after COVID strong and really push to go back to the conference in person?
I think the in-person conferences do create the experience we want to create. So it was definitely very important for us to go back in person.
Yeah.
I think, as Emily said, like salons, they were really nice, but there was only a limited number of people who were there. There was limited exposure. There was cameras, but I think to get the complete TEDx experience, you need to be in person at our conference. And I think just knowing that we need that experience, we wanted to come back. And it was definitely very important for us to come back. And we do see the impact that people hear of us much more now that we're in person than we were back when we were doing salons and affected by COVID.
Right, for sure. I think to add on, to add on to that a little bit, like a big part of our like programming is like has to be in person, right? Like we have workshops, which I mean you could have in a smaller scale, but like during the conference we have 6 different workshops happening at the same time, and they're very interactive, and so like you can't really do that without people being there and interacting with these folks. Like our performances are also interactive for the conference, and so like last year we had a dance performance and everyone was standing up dancing in the middle of the theater. Like you can't do that if you don't have an in-person like presence, and I think like that is so crucial to what we do, because you know we're by CUNY students for CUNY students, and you know I think sometimes, especially being in a CUNY school where everyone's just like commuting to class and then coming right home, like you can miss that like belonging, and you can miss that space to like meet new people, and I feel like that's exactly what TEDxCUNY does, and so we're really happy to be back in person.
Just to add a little thing, being in person, we give out our swag bags.
Yeah,
and like if you're online,
true.
I think one of the big aspects of our conference are those partners who partner with us, give us things for the swag bags. So when we are online, we definitely miss on those things.
Right.
And like being in person does allow us that opportunity to not only give those things out free, but to collaborate with those companies who are willing to partner with us every year.
Yeah, and personally, I know firsthand. So my freshman year of college, when I was over at Hunter, I had a friend who was in TEDxCUNY, and she kept advertising and saying, you have to come, you have to come. I'm like, all right, what is this going to be? Like 9 to 5, that's so long.
Right,
but like,
yeah.
I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And when I went, I was honestly inspired. I thought that it was one of the most wonderful things. Some of the speakers were so inspiring. Sherman Brown was one of my favorites of the day. And I thought, okay, great. I'm going to go listen to some people talk for a little while. And then, you know, I'll go home, whatever, take a nap. But
Fair.
Instead, I ended up staying for, I think, the entire time. And I didn't realize that it wasn't just people talking to me. It wasn't just TED Talks.
Right.
There was so much more interactive stuff. I remember Dewani came on and performed.
Yeah.
I thought that was really wonderful. I remember going to some of the classes and the workshops. And when I think of a workshop, I'm like, all right, it's a workshop. You know, what's it going to be, arts and crafts? No, like it was so fun. I remember I did improv, and I thought that was so much fun. And then after that, how about this? We got some swag out of it that has been here for every single episode so far. It has been on the desk, and we've been advertising it ever since, you know, the TEDxCUNY. So it's really been an amazing experience, and I really think that it's such a wonderful opportunity for CUNY students because, honestly, after I was done with the day, I wanted to, like, go out and do stuff. Like, I was so ready to get up and go. And then I realized it was Friday night, so I wasn't really going to be able to do anything. But I did want to kind of ask about that student engagement and how they leave the conference. What do they really get out of the experience?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the student. I feel like you can get so much out of the conference that like it's hard to just pinpoint like one or two or just like a few things. And I think it goes back to the students' background. Like one thing that we really pride ourselves is like when we pick our speakers, we want them to be diverse. We want them to come from all like walks of life, all backgrounds, like all like different sectors and fields, because like that's exactly what CUNY is. Like we are representative of so many different like ways, shapes, and lives. Like we want our conference to reflect that. I think specifically like with this conference, it's like how can you continue to use speed in your life to invigorate what you want to do with your life. If apart from the talks, if the talks aren't your like cup of tea, like the workshops and the performances, like you said, like all of these things are centered around the theme of fast track. So like this year we have like a soap making workshop, we have like a Japanese like quill art workshop, we have another art workshop where like there is going to be like engineering tomorrow, which they make cars. So like folks can like literally come and make their own model cars. So it's like all of these different things that you can really get out of the conference that it's really hard to pinpoint one specific thing. Saanavi, what do you think?
You can also interact. Like we do give like enough space for people to just interact with each other during like the time they have. So like go talk to other people, go talk to the people who are there. Like we have people from different CUNY campuses coming in. So definitely like take this experience to like mingle with other CUNY students, see what you like, what you don't like, go to workshops, performances, and just enjoy the experience overall we have curated for everyone.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of community building going on, and that's really one of the main focuses of this conference because, of course, everybody likes to listen to a TED Talk or everybody likes to hear about these different points of view, but it's really coming from within.
Right.
So I did want to ask about how you pick your speakers specifically. Like, what's that process like?
Yeah, for sure. So there's two different avenues that we explore. The first one is on our website. So if you go to TEDxCUNY.com/speak, at the bottom of that page, you'll see a form. And so we have like, I want to say a bunch of submissions every day of like folks around the world, like pitching themselves or pitching folks that they know to like give a TEDx talk on our stage. It's a very short and simple form, like just asking like what you would talk about, also asking you to upload a video of you like pitching yourself too. So of course, like these talks are going on stage and these talks are memorized. Like we want to see how folks can do that, at least in the application process as well. So like that form remains open forever, so folks can continue to submit themselves or other people that they know. The second avenue is that our internal team like comes together and like, okay, like we're having this conference again. Who do we know in our lives that we feel like would be a good fit for just to give a TED Talk? Who has inspired us and we feel like would inspire the rest of CUNY, the rest of New York, the rest of the world to give a talk on this stage? So we then internally go and are like, okay, like I really like this professor, or I really like this person that I met at like a CUNY like club thing. Like I think they would give a good TED Talk. And so then our team reaches out to those folks too, and we're like, hey, like you were nominated to potentially do this thing. Is this something that you're interested in? We get a lot of folks back who say yes, and then it's kind of going through both of those avenues to decide, okay, who's going to be the best fit for this event. And I think what's really important to note too is that we don't tell these speakers what our theme is. Like we want these speakers to really give their true and authentic selves and what they want to talk about. And then if this is someone that we pick, like we help them work the theme into the talk. Because we don't want them to come in with preconceived notions of, okay, well, I have to fit like fast track or I have to fit unravel into what I want to talk about. Like, no, we just want you. We'll figure out the rest and then we take it from there.
Yeah, also to add on, like our themes are usually so broad that like different aspects of the field can come in. Like you can be music and you can be in a fast speed. You can be technology, you can be arts, you can be anything. But our themes are so wide and open that like regardless of your background and what you want to speak, like it can be molded into our theme. And we want to make sure that your talk is molded into our theme and not the other way around.
Yeah, I did want to ask, so now we've covered the speakers. I did want to ask about because it's not just speakers.
Right.
I wanted to ask about the workshop classes and how you find those, because soap making, I mean, how do you find that? Music, like, what are you guys aiming for with these workshops, and how do you guys go about getting people to come in?
Yeah, so we want to make sure that the experience we're giving is unique. Like, if you're coming to our conference every year, we don't want you to have the same experience. So we go out and throw ideas in our meetings. Like, what is something you've never thought of doing but would be really cool to do? Soap making.
Yeah, why not?
Like, make a car, like, fast track, like, make a car. So, like, we come out with, like, random ideas and then we have a team dedicated to finding these people who would like look for these random things people would like to do, but like you go out and pay so much to do, but here you can get it for free.
Right.
And like we want to make sure that we are like bringing new experiences to you every time. So next year when you come to our conference, you won't find the same thing, but you'll find something new and something maybe more fun.
Right, exactly. I think, like, yes, the format of the event is the same, where we have the workshops, have the performances, but like the types of things you're doing is very different. And I think that's what we continue to pride ourselves on. And also, to go back to our team, like, they are phenomenal with finding these people. Like, I remember I felt so weird being like, can we get a magician? Like, that just sounds so fun. And then they found one. Like, I was just like, what? Because a lot of the times, like we have these crazy ideas and we're like, okay, like maybe it won't happen. Like let's just try though. And then we try and it happens, and it really is thanks to like their dedication and their hard work. Like we're really grateful to have a team of folks who are so like dedicated to this mission in order to like spread ideas, because we know that ideas change everything. And so passionate about the conference. So grateful and shout out to them.
Well, May 2nd, everybody at home, circle it in your calendars
please.
In big red letters. It's at John Jay from 9 to 5. Day of the event. What can students expect from the conference?
Well, I think same thing that we've been talking about. Like, we have these 9 incredible speakers from CUNY faculty, staff, and affiliates, all coming to talk about like their works and like their ways of life. Like, I'll give a little shout out to some of the speakers, or like maybe like give a brief overview of what some of them are going to be talking about. Like, we have a musician talking about his life through jazz, and you know, talking about how like he's used like the use of speed in his music. We have folks who are in like the writing and humanities space, and talking about how writing and poetry have helped folks to grieve. So like those are just like a little snippet of the talks that you can expect. Obviously so much more as well. In terms of performances, we have like the magician, we have a dance group,
we have meditation.
Yes, we have a singer-songwriter coming in, and a few more. And so at least day of conference, you can expect like 1 to 2 talks, and then broken up by a performance. That way you're just not sitting there being lectured at. Of course, no one wants that. So we have a talk or two, a performance, another talk or two, and a performance. In the middle of the day, we break for those workshops that we were talking about. Folks will have the opportunity to go to 2 out of the 6. So we have each workshop will run for, I think, between 35 minutes, and then you get to switch into another one. And then back into the theater for more talks, more performances. We'll have raffles as well. Some of our raffle partners include the New York Giants and the New York Jets.
Wow.
So very excited about that. I think last year, like, we also partnered with them last year, and they gave us like a signed football. So, I mean, if you're a sports fan, this is a perfect place for you to win that. And then we also have our swag partners, right? So we have partners from around the world giving us like drinks and food and snacks and like different products that you can all get for free. So come out.
What would you say is something that you've learned from past conferences that you're starting to incorporate now or learn from?
We've realized that like the day of the conference can be a lot. Being there 9 to 5, as you said, is no easy task. Like, you are there, so we want to make sure like you are having different experiences over time. Like, and as like we've been emphasizing all this time, like we just don't want you to go there and listen to talks. We want you to go watch these performances. We want you to go to these workshops, interact. Like, just the talks themselves, they're a lot to hold on to. So like we want to give you that break to like mingle and interact with others. Take the time and go pick up a swag bag and like talk to the people. We do have lobby activities as well. So like we have some fun like bracelet making. Last time we had like sell me something you want to unravel, things like that going on as well. So we want to make sure that we are giving our audience a break between these TED Talks and giving them the opportunity to interact and just like loosen down a little bit after these TED Talks.
Not to say though, like the talks themselves are great. Like, I definitely don't want it to sell the talks short, but we also know that they can be heavy at times and they can be a lot. And so we like, the whole point is to like make sure that audience members are like walking away with something, whether it be the talks, whether it be the workshops, whether it be the performances, whether it just be the swag bag. Hey, like that's so fair, to just walk away with that. Like, I think there's something for everyone at this conference, and like we want to make sure that we're curating an event that can be for everyone. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a little bit about the feedback that you've gotten from students and how you've kind of evolved the conference around that as well.
I think one thing that we've heard often is just like, is kind of going back to the talks, that like folks just don't want to be sitting there being lectured at. And of course, that's not what the talks are, but sometimes it can feel kind of heavy, can feel like a lot. And so that's why, at least in the 2023 conference, Who We Are, we had, I think, like a couple of like talks before a performance, and now we're like, okay, max 2 talks before a performance in order to break that up. I think another thing too is that folks just continue to like want to have these, like have this event. And so we're like, okay, like regardless of any hurdles that we're facing, we just have to keep pushing through. And they wanted new experiences, which is why we pride ourselves on like every conference is unique. It's not like you would come to like the 7th conference and it'll be the same exact thing as the 8th conference. It really isn't. And like that was something that we loved hearing, that like people came to the Who We Are conference in 2023 and then also came to the Unravel conference in 2024 and we're like, this is completely different. And we love that. We're like, okay, then like 2025 has to be completely different. And so that's what we've been continue to do.
And now I kind of wanted to go a little bit into each of you individually, because although you've done such amazing work for TEDxCUNY, you've done so much more as well. Emily, we'll start with you.
Okay.
You're over at John Jay. It's your senior year,
Yes.
studying political science and government, minors in human rights and English.
Yes.
Chair of the John Jay Honor Scholars Council, just to name a few things. Vice president of the John Jay's chapter of Delight Ministries, research assistant for the political science department, academic advisor for the criminal justice department, and a volunteer, and not to mention a Watson fellow.
Yes.
So I did want to ask kind of where you're looking to go with your career after you graduate in the spring.
Yeah, for sure. So my plans are going to law school. I am very passionate about the law and passionate about public service. I think John Jay very much like fueled that for me. John Jay's mission is to inspire fierce advocates for justice, and like that is exactly what I would be leaving John Jay to do. So right now I'm debating between 2 schools, either Berkeley Law School or Cornell Law School, which I'm very excited about. Not sure yet where I'm going to go, but definitely taking the necessary time to think that through. But yeah, planning to pursue a career in law in the public service is the plan.
And that's really wonderful, and I'm super excited for everything that you're going to do.
you.
I know that you're going to do amazing. But Saanavi, you have nothing to sneeze at either. You're over at City College.
Yeah.
You're studying computer science. You've had some interest in machine learning, I take it, and like AI and stuff like that. But just to name a few things that you're doing as well, you're a web design intern with the Macaulay Honors College. You're the president of the Society of Women Engineers at City College, a BASTA fellow, and you've worked with Google, Bloomberg, Goldman Sachs, Accenture, Girls Who Code, JP Morgan, and Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, like that is phenomenal. So what are you looking to do with your career once you end up graduating?
So I will be joining this summer as Deutsche Bank as a software engineering intern as well. So that's where I want to go. So yes, I'm definitely looking forward to go into the software engineering space or machine learning AI. I'm still deciding, but definitely to like make technology something I use every day in life and make sure I'm making a positive impact with that.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. And it seems like the TEDxCUNY team, if they're anything like the two of you, they're doing so many other things at the same time, and they have so many different interests.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your team and the diversity that comes with it?
I think that's one of the beautiful parts about TEDxCUNY is the diversity within our team. We are completely student run. So yes, we have obviously like faculty advisors and folks who like work at CUNY who like assist us, but for the most part, it's all CUNY students making these like really critical decisions of who's going to speak, who are our performances, who are our workshops, how is the day going to look like, who are we partnering with, like all of that is decided by CUNY students. We have a range of students from like a variety of CUNY campuses. I don't know how many exactly. I think like 8 or 9, right? Yeah, we have a bunch of CUNY students represented on our campus, whether undergraduate or graduate students, all working incredibly hard and are incredibly talented. Everything that you see that is produced by TEDxCUNY is made by our team. Like, we don't go out and hire extra help to do these things, A, because we can't afford it, but B, because our team can do it just because, like, they're incredible. Not sure if folks have seen, like, our trailer for the Fast Track conference, but like again, that was all shot, edited, acted by our team. Like truly, truly incredible. Some people want to add anything.
Yeah, just to like re-emphasize, like they are wonderful.
Yeah.
Like our team is so good at everything they do. Like they come from 8 to 9 different campuses. They come from different majors. Like none of them like they're doing like different things. We have people who are doing computer science, who are doing law, who are doing medical school, and like after all that, they have the time and energy. They come to us. They bring new ideas, which we implement every single day, and we're just so grateful for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, to be a part of this amazing team, what do students have to do? How can they sign up?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for more help, obviously, because like the things that we do are no easy undertaking. So at least our applications open between late August and close around like the middle of September. And again, open to all CUNY students. If you like want to go to our website, TEDxCUNY.com, our applications are always posted there. They're also posted on our socials. So a very standard application of just asking like, why do you want to be a part of the team? What would you contribute? What's your favorite TED Talk and why? I think those are the two main questions, apart from some other ones as well. And then we have what we call an interview, but honestly, it's really not an interview.
It's more like a vibe check.
Yeah, it's very much a vibe check of just being like, well, can you commit to this? Like, how would you react in like these situations? But I want to just preface or like emphasize that like we know students haven't like planned a TEDxCUNY conference. We know like that is something that we had never done prior to coming to the team, and like so we're not expecting folks to have like these stacked resumes or like expecting folks to do very similar things before joining the team. Like we just want folks who want to learn and want to be a part of this experience and are like and care about our mission and care about what we do, because like it's really that passion that drives students to do this. And so folks are onboarded around the end of September to work or like to help us with this whole year of planning the conference.
Well, I know that some people might be inspired to join the team. Others may be inspired to talk. How can students get involved in one of these conferences if they want to try and talk and share their story?
So every year we do have a student speaker competition, which opens around late October, early November, where students have the opportunity to submit a pitch on things they would want to talk about. So we ask them to submit a video recording of themselves and like just a little like spiel of what they want to write, and they submit it, and we as a team review those applications, and we select 1 to 2 speakers every year.
Yeah. We also have like information sessions about these things as well. Again, always on our website, always on our socials if folks are just interested. But I think, again, like the one thing that's really unique about TEDxCUNY is that a lot of other TEDx University spaces aren't having students speaking, but that's something that like we really love doing. Like we know our students are doing incredible things. Like we know our students are like working in incredible fields, doing incredible research. And so like why wouldn't we want to highlight that on the TEDx stage? So it's really important for us to continue to do this. And so we love getting the pitches. Obviously, like we want to pick everyone, but like we get to pick between 1 to 2 every year. This year we have a graduate student and an undergraduate student. I think last year we had 2 graduate students. So it really doesn't matter where you are in your CUNY journey. Like definitely encourage folks to apply, because you never know, maybe you'll be next to be on stage.
And you never know. Well, that brings me to my last question in. What would each of your TED Talks be? If we're talking about it, what is going to be your TED Talk?
That's a good question.
I always make this joke in our team where it's like my TED Talk would be about how to do a TEDx conference, because I know that like the back of my hand. Like I can talk for days about how much work that goes into it. Obviously, like it wouldn't be a very interesting talk because like why would I care about how to do this? But I mean like there's so much intricacy that goes into it that like I can talk about that for at minimum 18 minutes. Like
I think for me, it will be a little bit about like everything I do and like making sure like I'm inspiring others.
Yeah.
Like what we do, like it's a lot, but then there are so many other people who want to do these things and like giving them the opportunity to learn, to grow. Like there are people everywhere who want to do 1,000 different things, and like it seems impossible, but as we go through it, like I know we both are able to like handle 10,000 things at once. And so as our team. So just like reassuring that like you got this, and like I think that would be my TED Talk, like just telling them like 10,000 times, you got this.
You got it. If that's inspirational, if that isn't inspirational, I don't know what is. Well, I really want to thank you both for coming in today. I'm so happy that we're able to highlight TEDxCUNY and tell everybody, really, come to the conference.
Yes, please.
May 2nd from 9 to 5 at John Jay College in their theater. Come say hi to each and every one of us. We'll all be there. I'll be there. These two will be there. So make sure to come say hi and really just have a great time. So once again, I want to say thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out CUNY Uncut on social media and make sure to download the CUNY TV app. And I'm your host, David Horn, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.